Hey everybody, it is Saturday afternoon and we are heading out to Prettyboy Reservoir. If you're a regular viewer, you'll know how I talk about that little bridge that's near the boat launch. Well, this is that little bridge that's near the boat launch. And just to put things in perspective, I thought I would spend the last minute or so of the drive shooting some video. We're going to go out for a paddle tonight. We're not going out in my motorized kayak. And there is Johnny Law just pulling out and pulling away, so I won't have to worry about showing him my license or anything tonight. I don't know if we're going to do any fishing. I'll take my rod with me, but for the most part we are going out for a paddle. And usually when I'm in this kayak, I don't really spend much time fishing, but we will take my little ultralight, and if I want I can throw it out and we'll see what happens. So there you go, we're at the boat launch. There is excuse me, there is the little bridge off in the distance. I'm gonna get back down to the water, get the kayak in, and I will see you all out on the water. All right everybody, here we are, sort of out on the water. We didn't make it very far and I had to stop and take a break. My main goal was to get away from the boat launch. There was a whole bunch of people coming and going and I did not want to be amongst them. So we jumped in the water and I used my seat cushion that I use in my other kayak. And now that we're out here, turns out that it throws my center of gravity off and it really is just not right. And so we pulled over and I got my seat cushion strapped to the back. We're going to get back in and we're going to start paddling around. So I don't know what this evening is going to entail. It seems like it's going to be an odd one. The storms are sort of passing through. It's kind of windy. Don't know if we're going to fish. Don't know what kind of sightseeing we're going to do. So sit tight. Should be an interesting adventure. All right, everybody, we are underway. I really don't have to go anywhere particularly far. It's all interesting, but I just see the same fallen trees and the same underwater brush piles and so on and so forth every time I come out here. So I like to mix it up a little bit for myself. And so today I think we are going to cut straight across the channel. And maybe get back into a few of the little coves back there rather than spending a lot of time on the shoreline right here by the boat launch, because we're still only within sight. If I could turn my neck around 180 degrees, we'd be looking at the boat launch. So we still got plenty of evening left to go. So sit tight, give me a little bit, we'll get down across the water, we'll see what's going on over in some of those shadier spots on the other side. Alright everybody, we got some really dark clouds moving in from the west, and we're still dealing with the remnants of Laura moving through. It was just a tropical depression by the time it went through here, but it rained all morning and it finally cleared up, but we still got some, what's this? Still got some dark clouds and stuff moving our way, so I don't think we're going to go very far at all. And since we're not going to go very far at all, we may as well poke our noses back into all these little odd corners like this and see if we can't find any interesting pieces of woodwork or anything like that. We just got to see a blue heron. And so far I don't really see anything back here other than loads and loads of anacris. If you can see all that down there. we got all that kind of dark stuff coming our way. Hate this stuff. That's interesting enough. I put some of that in my New World tank, but it's just kind of floating there and it's all covered in grunge now, so we don't get to see too much of this stuff. But it does get little flowers that stick up out of the water. I don't know how well that's coming out on camera. They're really small. This camera's not exactly ideal for fine detail or great distances. So let's see if we can fit underneath of this tree. Definitely cannot do that in my other kayak. So yeah, I think this is what we're going to do this evening. Oh man, I wish that came out. It's a little American goldfinch. Beautiful little bird. But like I said, this camera is terrible for fine details and distances or anything like that. So if you got to see that little flash of bright yellow, that's what that was, little American goldfinch. The last several times I've come out here, the weather has been a little bit iffy, and this is what I've resorted to. Come out of the cove where the boat launch is, make a left, come down past this fallen tree, and then turn left into this cove over here. And we might do a little fishing while we're back there. Might just poke around in the corners and look for some good woodwork. It's always scary doing this because you never know right up until the last second whether you're going to put your face through a big old spider web. Sometimes it's too late by the time you see it. We can stay way up under the trees coming down through here because the shoreline drops off really steep along this section here. We just heard some really loud buzzing over that way, so we're going to keep moving. I've had that experience before. I've been fishing and hearing some loud buzzing noises, and before you know it, I'm beginning to realize I got bees flying all around me. I look up and I'm sitting like directly below some giant hornet's nest or something. So I don't look around anymore when I hear some loud buzzing. I just tend to move along gently. Try not to disturb anybody. I feel like I'm sliding across wet grass. There's tons of that anacris there. Alright, I think once we get down past here, get a little bit more out into the main body of this cove, I'm going to take a little break from filming and we'll go ahead and see if we can't catch a few fish. But first we got a few more trees to drift past. I'm not really going to bother with fishing along through here. I've never really caught anything, so I don't really see any point in messing with it tonight. If I was serious about fishing, I might try again, but I'm actually out here trying to get some exercise. I have a ongoing neck injury, and as much as you think doing something like this would make it worse, it actually gives me a lot of relief whenever it's been acting up on me, as it has been over the last few days. I always come out and paddle around for a little while and I feel better the next day. So hopefully this will be enough of a paddle tonight that will provide me with some relief. So alright, we're down into the main body of the cove now, and it gets kind of shallow and weedy out here, and we'll probably end up back in that corner at some point where I often go. But for now, I'm going to say hang on a minute, unless of course I catch a fish, I'll show you that. But otherwise I'm just going to take a little bit of break. So I'll see you in a bit. Alright everybody, I have fished around in this cove a little bit. The weather's not making me feel any more confident that we're not going to get rained on. And most importantly, I just caught a little sunfish, first fish of the evening, and I realized I don't even have my little spare emergency pliers that I carry on my keychain with me. So I am not going to take the chance on catching another fish and getting the hook stuck worse than this one was. That would leave me with some unpleasant alternatives, and so I'm not going to even worry about doing it. I'll just fish again on another time when I've actually got my pliers with me. And as I said, we're not going to go too much further away from the boat launch just because of the way the weather looks. We're definitely not going to go on the other side of the main channel. We're going to stay back here. So let's go poke our nose back into this corner. See if we can slide through all this woodwork here. Nice. Looks like you're going to see a little bit of sunshine at least. This is the end of the line. If we go any further, we're going to run up into the mud, and I don't want to do that. So we're going to stop right here. But depending on how much rain we've had, this is more or less a little stream. And while we did get a bunch of rain overnight from the storms moving through, it wasn't enough to like soak into the ground, and this is all spring fed. And so unless we've had a lot of rain consistently like in the springtime, this is almost a trickle. In the spring, after the winter melt off and everything, we'll get a lot more water coming through here. But for now, that's about all we're going to see. So let's make our way out of here through the shallows. Alright, so we are just going to make our way right on down and out into the main channel again, and I think we'll be okay if we go left and head further away from the boat launch. Although I'm also thinking about my other kayak. Look, I caught some of that anacris if I want any of it. My other kayak actually has a rain poncho in it. I've even got a tarp in there in case of emergencies. I've got water in case I'm ever trapped out overnight. I'm prepared in that kayak. In this kayak, we've got pretty much what I'm wearing. So maybe we will head back towards the boat launch. I can always paddle around and still get some exercise. We don't have to be far away. Alright, we're heading back the way we came. We're just leaving that cove. We're going to go back underneath this fallen tree, and then we will see what it looks like once we get around the corner. From what I could tell, it looked pretty scary. And yeah, that looks pretty scary. It probably won't last long, but it is definitely not something I want to get caught in. I don't know if that's moving my direction or not, but we're going to start making our way back at least towards the boat launch. Again, I can always paddle around there or something. But if you can see all that sort of gray lines hanging down below that, that's all rain falling out of that. And I'm hoping it's moving that way and we won't get any of it. But if that's moving in my direction, that's a lot of rain coming down. And so I'd rather be a few minutes away from the boat launch than heading further away from it. So we are basically just coming back the way we came. And this is the reverse view of the shoreline we just looked at. So let me get on with it. I just wanted to give everybody a look at what that sky looks like. And who knows, by the time we actually get up towards the boat launch, it might be already past and we'll have blue skies again. It's been one of those kind of days, but better safe than sorry. So, alright. Take you through this tree one last time and then I'll call this little clip good. Doesn't look a whole lot better once we come around the corner, does it? Alright everybody, let's see what happens. Well, we are in the cove where the boat launch is. I'm about a quarter mile away from it at this point, and all of that gray curtains you can see over there is rain, and that is definitely coming my way. So we are now racing the storm to see if we can get back in the truck before the rain starts coming. So no big deal. That was my whole evening. Got out here, paddled around the corner, fished for 15 minutes, and now we're paddling back. But as I've said before, I am fortunate enough that I live 10 minutes away. I can just throw the kayak in the back of the truck, come out here, do this, go back home, and still have time to cook dinner on the grill once the storm goes past. I know for a lot of people you might have to plan in advance for a day at the lake or something, but for me this is just almost like an extension of my backyard. I'm really fortunate in that regard. So no biggie. Just wanted to get out today. They're having a fishing tournament tomorrow, so I definitely won't be out here tomorrow. But make sure you're subscribed, and that way you won't miss our next outing. I'm going to say goodbye here because I think I'm going to make it. But I suppose it's only another couple minutes. If you've been with me this long, you may as well paddle with me till we get back to the boat launch, just so you can see for sure whether or not I made it. Alright, so let me hunker down and paddle. Yep, here comes the rain already. Well, so much for thinking I was going to make it. So I'm going to paddle this furiously, and by the time we get to the boat launch it'll have passed. I should be just hunkering down over there underneath the trees, but whatever, it's not like I got any electronic equipment or anything in this boat, so getting a little wet's not going to hurt anything. There's a blue heron hanging out over there doing the smart thing, hanging out under the trees, but not us. There comes the hard stuff. See blue sky right on the other side there. I'm telling you, by the time we get to the boat launch, it's going to be stopped. Alright, this is where we stopped on the way in. So we'll sit here for a minute, let this pass, and then we'll get out of here. Although I suppose once it's passed I can grab my pliers and go fishing again. But I think I'm ready to go home now. So I'm going to say thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you real soon in the next one.